guys, it's Lauren and I am back with another video. As you can see, this is my first story time. I'm really excited because this is a really good story and changed my freaking life. So I am doing a story time on my breast reduction surgery that I had when I was 17. But before I start, I just want you guys to like, comment, and subscribe. Before I begin, I just wanted to say thank you guys for supporting me. I am almost at 100 subscribers, so my channel's growing. It's a small channel, but it's growing and I'm really excited. That's really cool. So let's get started. Okay, so I had my surgery on June 23rd, 2016, and I was 17 years old. This was the summer before I was going into my senior year. It all started when I was in 5th grade, and I was developing like pretty quickly. Like in 5th grade, I was a C in 5th grade. And then as the years progressed, like middle school, my boobs just started growing. 6th and 7th grade, I think I was like a D. I think 8th grade, I don't know, my boobs were really big by 8th grade. I was like a double D by 8th grade. 9th grade, my boobs just got bigger. Then 10th grade, I was like a G. And then by my 11th grade year of high school, I was an H. I didn't really like my body because I was like really disproportional, as I thought, like, because I've always had like such a small body, but like my boobs were big at the same time. So it was like really upsetting. Like, it was really upsetting, like, especially since like it made me look older than everybody else. I've been playing sports all my life, and I had like neck pains and back pains, and it just was, it wasn't working for me. But so in February of my 11th grade year, like, people would always ask me, are you getting a breast reduction? Are you getting a breast reduction? It wasn't never anything I ever thought about, so I was always like, no, not really. I never thought about it. I was just like, no. So February of my 11th grade year, I remember I was having breast pains, so I asked my dad to set me up with a doctor's appointment. I was having breast pains, and so my physician asked me if I ever thought about having a breast reduction. Why are you messaging me? She asked me if I ever thought about having a breast reduction. I was like, no, I never really thought about it. And she was telling me about how a friend of hers, his daughter, got it, and she was just really happy about herself afterwards. And I never really thought about it, but I remember leaving when we left the doctor's office that night. I did my research on breast reductions, and like I read like people's stories of people who've had them, and they were like, it was nice to see like this is something that made women like happy. Like, I don't know, I never thought about it. I was like, that literally that exact same night, I swear, like all of the greatest things that have ever happened to me always happened like by me making a decision on impulse. That night, I was literally just like, I'm gonna get it. So I told my dad like the next day, I was like, Dad, I want a breast reduction. Like I didn't even take a few days to think about it. I was like, Dad, I want a breast reduction. So he was like, sure? I was like, I'm sure. Like, I didn't even think about surgery pain. I was just like, this is what I want. This is going to make me happy. I was like, and I need it as soon as possible. Like, I wanted it ASAP. Like, I didn't even want to wait. If I could have gotten it the next day, I probably would have gotten it the next day. Like, not even lying. After that, my dad started, like, he set me up with another appointment to my physician, and then my physician got in contact with this plastic surgery office nearby, and they were really good because after that I started following up with the surgeon. So he was going to be my surgeon, and we found a date. This was like right after like my 11th grade years ended. My last day was like the 20th, and the surgery happened on the 23rd. I met the surgeon, the nurses, they were all like really nice, great people, very helpful. I did end up being nervous because like it's surgery. I'd never had surgery before, but they really made the experience worthwhile to me, and basically, I met them. I had to get checked, see if I was, cleared to even have the surgery. So there was that. I think I went to them once or twice more. I know they had to take before pictures at one of the times, which I still have. They had to take before pictures of my boobs, and then, after the surgery, they took after ones, and they keep it on like a file. I actually have the file somewhere in my house, but so after that, so they were like, your surgery's in June. I was super duper scared, excited. So fast forward to where the surgery was about to happen, maybe a few days before. I think I had to go in. I can't remember what it was for, but they just like gave me some words of encouragement, because I was super duper nervous. I was super duper nervous. Like, I was scared, like, because I didn't know you could actually have the surgery at that age. Like, your parent like has to sign off on it, in which my parents did. So I think that was cool. And then, they paid for it. I guess our insurance paid for it. I don't know. I didn't pay for the surgery at all. I couldn't tell you how much it is. You just got to look it up, because I don't know. I just knew this surgery would just make me just so happy. Like, there's just so much that comes with it. Like, I was just so unhappy about myself. I didn't like people like people talking about my boobs. 'Cause I felt like that used to be like the first thing people would notice about me. And I hadn't thought too much about it until that one visit to the doctor's office. So fast forward to when the surgery was about to happen. So a few days before, I know they gave me like a list of things I couldn't eat. Like, I was really into coffee milkshakes at the time, but I couldn't drink them because I wasn't allowed to have coffee, drink alcohol, or smoke. I mean, I didn't drink alcohol or smoke, so I mean, it was like, okay. So those are like some other rules. I think it was just a bunch of stuff I don't do anyway. Like, it comes the day of the surgery. My stepsisters came with me, my mom came with me, and my dad came with me. I know the night before, like, I wasn't supposed to eat like past 10 o'clock or 11 o'clock or something like that. But I was really, really nervous. Like, I was super duper nervous. And as you can see, it's getting darker because the sun is going down. I gotta hurry up and go to the caf and eat before it closes. But, so, I was really nervous. But I was just so happy of how I was gonna look afterwards. Like, I was gonna finally feel proportional, good about myself. So, come the day of the surgery, my dad drove me to the plastic surgery center, and I know, like, they took me back, like, as soon as I got there. Like, I only had to wait like a minute. I know the surgery, like, I can't even remember the times. They're all mixed up in my head. It was a rough day, but they took me to the back, and they took me to this, they had me change into this hospital gown and this little bonnet and these shoes. The hospital shoes, not necessarily couture, but, and I, had to wait in this, like, it wasn't necessarily a room. It was multiple rooms, sort of. It was little areas separated by curtains. And so, then they brought my dad in. I got to talk to my dad for a minute. They brought my mom in. I got to talk to my mom for a minute. Then, like, one of the nurses came in. And she, she hooked me up to the IV, I guess so they could pump fluid into my body. Then the doctor came in, the surgeon came in, and I got to talk to him. He calmed my nerves, because when I tell you guys, I was super duper, like, I was nervous. Like, I was shaking, like, but, like, I knew I wanted it, but it was just like, my head was pounding, like, my heart was just pumping, like, racing. So, yeah, I look really good. Anyway, yeah, so after I finished talking to the surgeon, I think I was in that bed for maybe an hour. I really don't remember. Like, that day was such a blur. I'm going to show you guys a picture of what I look like before the night before the surgery. I think I went out to eat the night before the surgery. Yeah. So, I'm gonna put a picture right here. So, basically, that's when, you know, I think they were like, I was ready for the surgery or something. And honestly, the pain wasn't really bad. The worst thing was probably when she put the needle in my arm for the IV. And it was just sitting there like in my freaking arm, and I had to, sorry, I got a text message. I had to look at that. So that's when I remember they took me into the room, and here's how I know like when they drugged me, because I know the exact time. I remember this part clearly because this is the highlight. There were two nurses. The surgeon wasn't in there yet, but the two nurses were in there, and they just started talking to me, and then they asked me what my favorite artist was, and I told them Ed Sheeran. And then I remember they asked me something else about it, like, and I started like rambling on about Ed Sheeran. And after that, I woke up like 2-3 hours later. I don't know what happened in there, but that's when they drugged me. They gave me some strong drug, like I knew, like, she was like, I think like they put it in my IV. I think that's what they do, because I think she was like, I think I saw her over by my IV. I think they warned me about that. I really don't remember exactly. This was 2 years ago. I remember I woke up. I think I was back in that pink room, and I was like, whew. Like, I felt my chest was hurting, but the pain actually was not bad. Like, it was bearable. The pain was like it wasn't like, it was more like sore, like I was sore. I was more so sore than like in pain. Like, it wasn't like sharp pains. I was just sore. Like, I was just like, ah. But I was on enough oxycodone for, it was just a lot. So I remember I woke up, they put me in a wheelchair, and I remember they took me outside. I'm actually going to put a picture of me in the wheelchair outside. I look horrible in this picture, bro. Like, I look horrible. So I was in the wheelchair, and they're rolling me outside. I just remember my mom was like trying to take a picture or video of me, and I was like, no, stop. Like, I look so horrible. I don't want anybody to see me. So I remember like they put me in the car, and then I was out. I fell asleep again, and then they took me home. They put me in the bed. So post-surgery was probably the hardest part of the experience. Like I told you guys, I was not really feeling like pain. It was soreness, and I was on enough oxycodone to like, oxycodone, though, was causing me super nausea. Like that was a side effect. So at a point, I just stopped taking it, but my boobs were hurting, so I had to start taking it again, and it was just a lot. But I don't know, like, that 2 weeks of recovery was upsetting. When I tell you it was super upsetting, it was super upsetting because I was just so I was just like, I did nothing but sleep and eat like little things. Oh, by the way, from the surgery, I lost 11 pounds. Your girl really did that. Like, oh, so post-surgery made me literally regret getting the surgery. Like, that's how bad it was. Like, I was so upset. Wow, this is dark. Do I want to cut my ring light on? I have to cut my ring light on. Steady